Let's go, Bulls Nation. I have to be quiet because it's midnight. Screw the NBA for starting an 8:30 game at or a Central Time game at 8:30. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but let's go, Bulls Nation. Oh my God! Again, have to be quiet, but I am just shocked. I'm honestly shocked. I had more faith in this team after game one, but I didn't think we are going to win a game in Milwaukee. I thought that we'd win a game in Chicago, but we got a game in Milwaukee. And honestly, when you kind of think about it, we should have probably had two, but we got the split. That's the main goal, is that you got one. And now we go back to Chicago, and I know United Center is going to be rocking on Friday. I cannot wait to see that. But the Chicago Bulls did it. As you can see here, Casey Johnson tweeted it out. Yeah, the Bulls 114 to 110. The Bulls were up by 14 at the end halftime. They had I think at one point 18-point lead. I think that's the highest it got. And oh my gosh, what a game for DeMar DeRozan. That's honestly the storyline. I know Raptors fans were happy after game one where DeRozan shot 6 of 25, did not shoot well, 18 points only. DeRozan himself said that he, Zach, and Vooch are not going to shoot that poorly ever again. And those main guys, the big three, combined to score 85 points in the second game. And the main dude was DeMar DeRozan. And he put up 41, a new career playoff high, and was just absolutely taking it to the Bucks. The Bucks were playing single coverage for most of the game against DeMar DeRozan because that worked last game. But now I think they started to see, like, okay, this is what's going to happen. And DeRozan made him pay. And that's all that we care about, is that DeRozan made him pay. And I'm very happy that he did. He stepped up when we needed it. Vucevic stepped up. Levine stepped up. And I think Caruso and P. Will don't get enough credit for what they did this game, but they all stepped up. The starters had to step up after that game, and they did, and we got a game in Milwaukee. I am so happy, man. Welcome back to the TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel. I am all over the place. I don't have a script, but we're gonna go with that. As you see, my hair is all messed up too because I was stressed in that game. But oh my gosh, man, the Chicago Bulls won a playoff game. I mean, just think about that. We haven't heard that since 2017. Like, it's been that long since the Chicago Bulls have won a playoff game. And not only that, I mean, I'll even admit it, I kind of thought we were getting swept in this series. I thought we'd get one, but now after watching these two games, I think this can definitely be a series. Now, I do still think the Bucks are favored in this series, and it's rightfully so. And I don't think Chicago should be going too far ahead of themselves and be like, "Oh, we're gonna win it. Let's hold back, take this one game at a time." But I will say this now: I think this goes to 6 games easily now. The fact that the Bulls got one in Milwaukee is a big sign. So I'm thinking that the Bulls can take this to 6 games. After game one, I was like, okay, maybe the Bulls can push this to 6 games because this is not going to be easy for the Bucks. But we got a game now, and I'm gonna think that we get a game in Chicago. I'm not gonna say we get two because that would be unrealistic in my opinion. But I think we get a game. So therefore, I think it's going to be a 2-2 series after game four. But that means it goes to 6 no matter what, and I'm very, very happy about that. And here's the thing, man: if the Bucks continue with this, not taking us seriously, we can definitely punch them in the mouth, and they wouldn't know what hit them. This is what we had to do for this Bulls team. We had to come out after a horrible end of the regular season. We had to be like, you know what? It's 0-0. It does not matter anymore what we did in the regular season. It's playoff time now, and that's what they did today. You saw the defense that are in game one, but now the guys that need to step up did step up for game two, and I'm very, very proud of them. Again, DeMar DeRozan should be the storyline, but also the defense. And I know I've criticized Billy Donovan on this channel before, but this was a game for Billy Donovan where he did a very good job. And honestly, I think Billy Donovan deserves a lot of credit in this entire series. I will say there are some things that I'm not exactly I don't exactly agree with. Like, there, especially it was more in game one where we were kind of switching everything, including Vucevic, on some perimeter guys, but he took that away. There's some other few things, like I don't really like Tristan Thompson playing that many minutes. I know it was only like 7, but I think he needs to play a little less. But the defensive scheme, which I'm going to show you in this clip, this has been an absolute masterpiece by Donovan. Now, it's up to Donovan to keep adjusting because the Bucks are going to adjust. He has to adjust to whatever the Bucks do for Game 3. But this defense is a perfect scheme for the Milwaukee Bucks. And credit Billy Donovan; he deserves all the credit that this Bulls team, for this Bulls team and the defense that they're playing, it's been masterful by Billy Donovan. It's been a great job by Billy Donovan. I'm so happy to see this all come together right now. I can't believe it. I'm still like, I have no words that the Bulls actually got this game in Milwaukee. I had to actually just sit for 30 minutes and just soak it in because I was so shocked. So again, DeMar DeRozan, he's the headline here. Here's just kind of just some team stats, and I want to point out a couple of things. One, the Bulls only had 12 turnovers. Now, I would like for this to be lower, but in Game 1, I think we only had 11. So at the very least, you're seeing that the Bulls are keeping it under 15. You have to do that, especially in the playoffs. You have to keep it under 15. And honestly, I think some of them probably didn't really even matter. Like the one at the end where Patrick Williams knocked it out of bounds. But again, I would like to see this under 10. But if your main goal should keep it under 15. If you do that, you're doing a pretty decent job of keeping the ball. And the Bulls did that. So good job by them. And against this Milwaukee Bucks team, that is very, very important because you know that they're going to get out in transition. And again, this is Billy Donovan too. You're seeing that the Chicago Bulls, they're intentionally making things go slower. I know Stacey King's yelling like push it, push it, push it. After like the Bulls get a steal or the Bucks turn it over or like there's a long rebound, the Bulls get it. I get what Stacey King is saying, but at the same time, you don't want to accidentally like turn it over and the Bucks are running back the other way. That is not what you want to do. So the Bulls, they're just saying we're going to slow it down. We're going to set up our offense. And if we can, score an easy layup, we'll take it. But overall, keep it slow. Do not turn the ball over. And again, it's just genius by Donovan. But this is the big thing too here. The 3-point shooting, the Bulls, I think, made 7 threes in Game 1, and that had to change. Now, it didn't have to be that much, but if you think about it, the Bulls, I think, made 7 threes in Game 1, but then you saw Maxi Kleber and Jalen Brunson, I think, have more threes than the Bulls in Game 2 of that Utah series. That's an issue, right? So the Bulls had to make more threes, and they did. You saw Caruso hit a bunch of corner threes, which was huge. Zach LaVine hit more threes. Vooch hit his threes, right? That is necessary. We even saw Derrick Jones Jr. hit a corner 3. Those guys have to hit their shots. They have to hit their threes for the Bulls to have a chance at this series because the Bucks are going to be willing to give them up. And they did that. So good job by the Bulls to make more than 7 threes this game. Like 12, I think, is honestly the right amount because we don't take a lot, right? We're only going to take around 25 to 30 a game. So you hit 12, hit 13. I think we're looking in pretty good shape for the Bulls because we score in the other areas of the floor, aka DeMar DeRozan in the mid-range game. Last thing I want to talk about before we get to the film here is this. Rebounds. It is basically even. This had to be basically even for the Bulls. We're undersized in almost every position. So everybody has to crash the glass. And even then, I can say that I think the Bulls can still improve on this. Like, even after this win, the Bulls can still improve on the rebounding because we saw, I think, 3 times where the Bucks were shooting the free throw, but they missed it and they got the ball back. And specifically when Giannis was missing front rim, that's an issue. That can't happen. I know Giannis is a freak, and it's basically impossible to box him out with like a guard, which is basically what we have to do when he's shooting a free throw. But the Bulls need to do better getting the defensive rebound. I know it's even right now, but that has to get better. And that's honestly a good sign right now because let's say this could easily be like we're minus 10 in the boards, right? But we're even. That means I still think we can get better, and we're even right now. That's a good sign, again, for the Bulls. Last thing is this. The offensive rebounds for the Bucks, again, a lot of these are off missed free throws. I said before the series it has to be that most you can give up is 5 because it's always going to happen, right? But 10, we got the win, but to me this is still too much. You have to lower this, keep it low. I'd say the max is 5. Try to get it to only 5 offensive rebounds for the Bucks. Do that, like I said, I think you do better on the defensive boards, and then I think this number gets to 5. So again, just stuff to keep focusing in on. Alex Caruso just said, there's a clip of him on Twitter saying, like, look, the Bucks have the advantage right now, which is true. Look, because we saw it with the Bulls just now. The Bulls lost. They came out hungry this game. They're like, okay, no, we're not losing tonight. The Bucks just lost now, so they're hungry. So you have to keep in your mind, like, yeah, you just won, And yeah, you think, okay, our game plan's perfect. We don't have to work anything. There is always something you can do more. There is always something you can do more. And I'm pointing out defensive rebounds. And I think even Billy Donovan has a bunch more stuff on defensive schemes that he's pointing out to say we can do better here. And again, that's good. That's a good thing for the Bulls. Keep that in your head. Now, let's talk about this defensive scheme, because this is honestly genius by Billy Donovan, and it's actually forcing Giannis into doing some uncomfortable things, and it's putting in the role players for the Bucks to actually beat us, and that's what we want. We want the role players to beat us. And so far with the Bulls, I can't really complain too much, because if you look at the box score here, you know Giannis is going to go off. Like, even when Giannis is having like a rough game, he's going to get 30, because he hits the free throw line so many times, and you can't stop him in the paint. No matter what, he's going to get 30, around 30. Like, he had 27 in game 1. But what you can do is you can stop these guys, the Drew Holidays, the Chris Middletons. I mean, Chris Middleton, I know he's injured right now, and I hope he's doing all right. But Caruso has guarded him well. Only 11 shots, and most of these shots were made in the third quarter only. Like, we were basically stopping Middleton for a game and a half until that third quarter. Drew Holiday, he has struggled, 6 of 16 from the field. These are the guys you can stop. You can't stop Giannis, but you have to stop these guys. But you can also limit their shot attempts. And so watch this right here. So this is at the beginning of the game when the Bulls were forcing turnovers. But this has been the main defensive scheme. The Bucks like to do this a lot. They post up a lot with Giannis, or even Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton right here on the low block. They just spread the floor because even Brook Lopez can shoot threes. As you can see, the floor is spread for Giannis right here. But Billy Donovan has done a fantastic job with his defense. First off, what you see here, but you don't see the entry pass, but you just see the Bulls are willing to give up the post up. But you see what Patrick Williams does when Giannis catches it. He takes away baseline immediately. So Giannis isn't allowed just to spin around and go baseline and just dunk the ball, because the reason why you have to take that away is because your help defense is over and towards the middle. So this has been a constant theme, is that we're willing to give up the post up, but you have to take away the baseline. Do not give up baseline. The Bucks haven't done that so far, right? So right when Giannis starts to dribble, you see then the strong side defense with LaVine. He comes over and doubles, all right? So his man Drew Holiday, LaVine, once you see Giannis dribbles, he comes over and he doubles. Now Giannis is forced to give up the ball, but you saw what happened here. Caruso is usually guarding Middleton, right? He slid over to cover Drew Holiday. So now the initial pass is not there, right? That's the initial out pass, like release valve pass out of the post when you're doubled. That's not there right now, okay? So now it's on DeRozan to cover Middleton, and you see here DeRozan gets the steal, which is great. Like, that's the best case scenario, but sometimes that's not possible, right? So DeRozan has to cover Middleton because this is an easier pass for Giannis to do from here to here. The hardest pass for Giannis to do is actually the cross-court pass to the other corner here to Wesley Matthews, right? So the Bulls, what they're doing, as you can see right here, even though DeRozan gets this steal, watch LaVine. LaVine, after he doubles Giannis and he gets rid of the ball, LaVine is looking right immediately to the weak side at where is Wesley Matthews, because he has to run over to the weak side and cover up Wesley Matthews. But best case scenario here is that you see DeRozan, he was in the right rotation. He started on Matthews. He comes over, cuts off the pass to Middleton, and Bulls are out on the fast break. And here's the layup. And that's how the Bulls started this game. It's interesting. The Bulls started on a 9-0 run this game. Similar to how the Bucks started the game 1. So that was interesting to watch. And Bulls are doing a good job of forcing turnovers for the Bucks. They're making sure Giannis doesn't get easy post-ups like we just saw right there. But we're also making sure that it's not just simple offense, right? Giannis has to think. It's not just, okay, I pass it back out to Drew Holiday and then repost, or pass it out to Middleton, he shoots a 3, right? He has to think, do I pass it to this person? Do I pass it to this person? He can't wait too long, because as you saw, the baseline's right there. If he does, then it's a travel or it's out of bounds and turnover. He has to constantly be thinking, and we want him to actually throw it to Wesley Matthews if he has to throw, if he can throw it out, right? I would much rather have Wesley Matthews try to beat us than Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. That's what the Bulls are doing right now. It's genius by Billy Donovan. So really, really good stuff right there. And I know Stacey King, I have to say this because this is kind of bothering me a little bit. Stacey King throughout the entire broadcast tonight, and I love Stacey King, but he was saying the Bulls have to stop switching. The Bulls have to stop switching guard onto Giannis. And it bothers me when he says that, because this has been the defensive scheme all series. Is that if there's a screen set by Giannis for Drew Holiday, let's say it's Caruso, or let's do Chris Middleton and Giannis. So let's say Caruso's guarding Middleton. Giannis sets the screen. You see Caruso switches on to Giannis, and P. Will takes Middleton. That's been the defensive scheme all series. Why? Because you don't want to give up the easy lob to the rim for Giannis, the alley-oop. Like, that is just too simple of offense. That switch takes that away. And you see what the Bucks do. They immediately throw Giannis down to the post because he has some size mismatch, right? And he wants to take advantage of the smaller guy. But you see what the Bulls are doing. It's the exact same thing I just showed you here. Because even let's say Caruso is the one guarding Giannis here, the double's always coming. So Giannis, no matter what, even if he's guarded by Caruso initially, he has to throw the ball back out. Even if he's guarded by Caruso. And that's the reason why this defense is so good. You take away that lob threat, but even though you're switching and put a smaller guy on Giannis, you're able to still get the ball out of his hands. And that's what we want in this situation. So, again, good job by Billy Donovan. Good job by the coaching staff to get this defensive scheme ingrained into their minds, because this is how the Bulls have to play the Bucks. Take the ball out of Giannis' hands when possible, force him to shoot jump shots when possible, but also limit these guys' shot attempts and open looks. Because that's how you beat the Milwaukee Bucks. Make the role players beat you, and the Bulls did just that. So I'm really happy with this Bulls defense, and I hope it continues because, again, you don't need to change the defensive scheme, but you always add a little few tweaks here and there, and that can help your defense even more moving into now Game 3 at the United Center. So, good job by Billy Donovan. He deserves a ton of praise for this game. And lastly, I want to talk about the big three. So DeRozan, obviously, he was going off, and I don't think DeRozan came out in the second half. And so he's an absolute trooper. I think Levine maybe got like a minute of rest. Vucevic was in foul trouble, so he had to come out a little bit. But you see right here the rotation. The starters are playing heavy minutes, and this is how it is in the playoffs, right? The fact that even Donovan goes 10 deep is kind of surprising to me, but they're not getting a lot of minutes. So this is it. These are the main guys. And good job by Donovan when the Bucks were making that run. He put in the stars immediately. But I want to point this out because I see people like Sylvie, he's hating on Zach. I see some people still upset. But you have to understand, man, Zach LaVine is an absolute offensive threat. We all understand this, but we also understand that he's not 100% healthy. But in a game like tonight, you saw how unselfish this man is. I understand he hasn't played a fantastic series, but he has still been very impactful. One, his defense has been absolutely great. He's guarding Drew Holiday, one, but number two, he is on point with his rotations. He is doing a fantastic job on defense. And people that are criticizing his defense right now, saying he's not playing defense, they're wrong. The entire team is playing defense. I've criticized DeRozan and Levine's defense this entire season. The entire team is playing good defense right now. But number two, Zach LaVine is the number two option on this team. He could very easily be taking 20-plus shots a game. But you're seeing right now, he took 13 shots. He made 7. That's over 50%. Like, he had it basically going. We saw him hit a couple of good threes that were like, oh, Zach's on tonight, right? But he understood that DeMar DeRozan had it going tonight, but also Vucevic had it going. Vucevic was huge. 4 out of 8 from three-point range. A lot of people were criticizing him, and I was even criticizing him too because I thought he was missing some gimmies at the rim. That's really my only issue with Vucevic, but he was hitting a lot of stuff tonight, and Zach understood this and is like, all right, these guys deserve the ball. This man's unselfish. He wants to win, and this is something that you do not see a lot in the NBA right now. A guy of Zach LaVine's caliber who can go off and put up 40 easily in a game understands that these two guys have it going. This is the game plan. Give it to them right now. I'm only going to take 13 shots even though I'm Zach LaVine, and I average 25.5 points per game. This is why Zach LaVine is important to this Bulls team. I understand people are going to be pissed at him getting a max, but I don't care. I've said Zach LaVine deserves a max since his first All-Star season because this is something you do not see a lot in the NBA. I understand Zach's defense was awful down the stretch of the regular season, but the entire team's defense was awful. And he is willing to sacrifice his shots just so this team can win. And he willingly sacrificed for DeRozan and Vucevic in that entire fourth quarter. We saw that the entire fourth quarter, and he did a good job of just setting up the offense, being a decoy, running off screens, but also playing good defense that fourth quarter because that's what the team needs from him to win this game, and he did just that. And again, I'm going to call out Sylvie. He was like saying, like, I need to see Zach do something, and Zach hit a clutch 3 in the corner in that fourth quarter with under 5 minutes left to go. He can do that. We all know Zach can do that, but it's the willing to sacrifice, and he barely was shooting in that second half, and it's still able to hit that clutch three when we needed it down the stretch. So people just need to understand that this dude, I understand he's not perfect. I understand that he's not that great of a defender, but we have to also understand he is not 100%, and he's playing 43 minutes, but also willing to sacrifice for this team. That is the heart of a winner, and people need to understand that. And I hope he resigns, because I think he is starting to see, as along with everyone else, like, this Bulls team, like, we beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the game. I mean, the fact that even happened is ridiculous, right? And both these teams have been close. So this is the reigning champs that we're talking about. I don't think we're winning this series, but a few more moves by AK with this core group and Patrick Williams keeps developing, I think then we're talking about a legitimate contender next season. So I think LaVine's here to stay. I hope he stays. For all the people that says that he hope he leaves, then I don't know what y'all want. But I just want to point out that he is willing to sacrifice for this team. Like, he understands that these guys are the ones that are going to be taking the shots down the stretch, and he did just that. So props to him, and you have to give credit to this entire Bulls team, and mostly the starting lineup. I want to shout out Caruso and Patrick Williams, because Caruso was fantastic down the stretch, and we saw him take so many charges. But I think one thing that it goes under the radar with Caruso is that he is the one that is running the offense right now. Like, I know DeRozan, you see him handle the ball a lot and bring it up, but Caruso, like, the 10 assists is one thing, but the big thing that I'm seeing with Caruso is that he's getting everyone in their offensive sets. Like, yes, you're always going to see isolation scoring. Like, we saw this today, and it's going to happen throughout the entire playoffs, no matter what team you're talking about. I mean, there's always going to be isolation, right? But there's still a good amount of ball movement and a lot of good run plays, but it's because of Caruso. You're seeing that he's the point guard. He's bringing it up the court. He's setting up the offense. But the other thing too is this: he's being guarded heavily. Like, you're seeing full court pressure from the Bucks, but he's able to keep the ball under control and set up the offense. Right? You do not see Caruso being loose with the basketball, and this is what we need at the point guard spot. He's playing the point guard, and not only is he bringing great defense, but he's able to set up the offense and initiate it and get everyone into the offensive set, because that's what Alex Caruso needs to do right now, and I'm very, very happy to see that. And then shout out Patrick Williams, because this dude, I just see so much potential with him right now. I wish he shot the ball more, honestly, but we'll talk about that another day. But this is huge right here. We need him to rebound. He is the second tallest guy in our starting lineup. He has to go out and rebound. He's doing just that. So props to him. And he's also guarding Giannis, man. And he understands. Like, I love that quote from him after that quote that he said during or after practice or whatever it was. That, like, look, Giannis is Giannis. He's just like the rest of us. He puts his pants on just like the rest of us, but he may be good, but he's not God. And he understands that. And look, man, I can't complain. If Giannis is not putting up 40, I think you're doing a pretty decent job, because this is what we have to do. Don't let Giannis go for 40 plus, right? We can't have Giannis going off for 40. If you keep him, he's going to get 30, like around 30 no matter what, but keep him under 40, and I think you're actually doing a pretty decent job. And again, no one can guard Giannis. No one can stop him, but you can at least try to slow him down. And the Bulls, I think, are actually doing a pretty decent job of that. So that's all I have to say. I'm out of stuff to talk about. I'm just going to enjoy this win. I can't wait for Friday. I can't wait to see the United Center absolutely just rocking and see playoff basketball back in Chicago, because that's going to be awesome. So really, really good win for the Bulls. I'm so proud of this team. Can't wait for Friday. And I hope we get another win, man. I really do think this Bulls team will get another win and force us to at least 6 games in the series. And I would be so happy to see that, because it puts the league on notice, and it can attract other free agents, because that's the big thing about this. We may not win this series, but we will show you, like, hey, we're building a culture here. We just took the reigning champs to a long series and put up a tough fight. Come to Chicago. Like, come play for us. It'd be a good place for you to come play. And I mean, come on, Chicago is one of the best basketball cities in the world. You can't beat it. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. It is a long one, and I apologize. But make sure you hit that like button if you're new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Let's go, Bulls Nation. Let's go, Bulls Nation. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.